Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you 10 Pinterest marketing tips to help you get more traffic and get more sales for whatever your brand or business is. So the first thing I recommend you do is go to canva.com, make a free account or a paid account, and you can use their templates to make better Pinterest posts without having to be naturally gifted at creating art. So if you're not necessarily an artistic person, you can use these templates and just change a few things around and have a very professional looking infographic or regular Pinterest pin to post on your profile that will ultimately get more saves and get you more traffic. So you have two different templates I recommend. One is infographic, so you can look up infographic just by searching in Canva and typing in infographic, or you can just look for it on the home page. So infographics tend to do very well on Pinterest. It's one of the best places to post these, and basically what they are is like turning a YouTube video or a blog post or something informational into a graphic where people can just easily save it. Everything looks really nice, it's very colorful, and you can process the information very well in visual format like this. Instead of having to read a bunch of words or to watch a full video, you can just kind of look at it, see what it tells you, and then you can save it to your profile. So these do very well on Pinterest. Another thing that does very well is if you go to social media and then you go a little bit over to Pinterest pin, that's also of course going to do very well. And what's nice about Canva is whether you use the free or paid version, they have these templates that are optimized for the best ratios for the platform you're trying to post on. So if you want something for Instagram, they'll have something that has the best ratio of pixels for Instagram. If you want to post something on Twitter or Facebook or anything else, they have the proper dimensions to maximize your post on that social platform. So I recommend using these types of templates, especially if you don't have someone that's dedicated to graphic design on your team. You can change all sorts of stuff around, change the font, change the background image, whatever you want to do. And then they have all sorts of different types of, stock footage, stock videos, audio, and all sorts of templates that you can use. So one thing I would recommend you do, number 2, is to turn your blog posts, videos, and other main pieces of content, however you're getting most of your traffic, and turn those into Pinterest infographics. So usually when you have like a blog post or video and you turn it into a pin, a lot of people will just put like the title. So let me show you kind of a few pins that I have on my profile. So a lot of people will do something like this. You'll have the title of the blog post, and then people can click on it to go and read what the contents of the blog post are. That does very well. So you can see that this is an optimized Canva template that I used. So it doesn't take very long to make a decent Pinterest pin that way. Or you can turn it into something like an infographic like I did with this one. You can see this one has a lot more impressions, 3,000 compared to around 500. One save, one outbound click, and you can see that you can process more information from this graphic than you have to click on the other one. So one of the big principles of social media is keeping people on the platform and helping people kind of consume the content without leaving the platform. A lot of times, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all these platforms, they want people to stay on the platform and consume the information there instead of going to someone else's website where they won't make any money. So that same type of thing for Pinterest. And the way you do that is you make infographics instead of just putting your title on an image and posting that every time. So again, don't forget to try out these different infographic templates on Canva, and then you can start doing that. Just turn your blog posts, especially if they're like a list post or a tutorial or something like that, turn them into these infographics before posting them on Pinterest. Another effective thing to do is to follow people that follow your competitors in hopes that they will follow you back. So in my experience, it's usually like maybe 10 to 20% of people that you follow on a site like Pinterest or Twitter or something like that will follow you back. And when they do, then you're getting more followers and more people that will be notified when you post new content. So potentially more traffic will come from this. And when you want to do this, all you got to do is go to the search bar on your home feed and then look up someone who has similar content to you. So for instance, if I wanted to look up, I have things related to making money online. Let's say I want to look up making sense of cents. So that's like a blog that I checked on every once in a while because they have a similar type of audience to what mine is. So you can see they have 158,000 followers. You can go and try to follow them. You can click on their followers and just go through and click these buttons right here. Now you might want to narrow it down to people who maybe have a profile pic or seem like they're more active users. Some of these people who don't even have a profile pic or maybe don't ever post anything maybe aren't as active and so might not be as worth following. But if you follow a bunch of active users that are interested in the same things, then they'll discover your content and eventually you can make more money and earn more traffic from that. Number 4, another thing you want to do is post quotes. And you can find quotes about whatever your profile focuses on, whether it's fitness, whether it's motivation or cooking, whatever it is that you have built this Pinterest profile on. You can find quotes about that at brainyquote.com. They pretty much are a giant archive of quotes of all sorts of people. So for instance, if I wanted to look at a quote from Albert Einstein, here's one of the more popular authors. You'll see all sorts of different quotes on here. They also have graphics with some of these as well, and you can share them or just take them and create a post on Canva using that quote. And then you can even find templates related to quotes. For instance, if you go to search templates, type quote, and then you can see which ones are best for something like that. So this makes it just so much easier to get more traffic, and it's one of the things that is most popular in Pinterest is just doing some sort of quote. So number 5, another thing I like to do is post the Pinterest image that corresponds with the blog post I did in the bottom of the blog post, making it very easy for somebody to share the best image for Pinterest through the blog post. So when I go to one of my latest blog posts, I like to post, especially if it's a blog post I'm trying to rank and is more of a long-term post instead of just like a news type of post, then I will do a Pinterest image for it. And you can see people can easily just click on it and share it directly from the blog post, and it'll go on Pinterest with an image that is actually optimized for Pinterest. Otherwise, if people just click the regular Pinterest share button, a lot of times it will just be your featured image or something like that. But it makes it easier to show people exactly what it's going to look like when they share that on Pinterest, and you already have an optimized one for people to post in case they want to come back and look at your blog post again in the future. And as an example, you'll notice that Making Sense of Cents blog I mentioned earlier that does so well on Pinterest, they do the same type of thing. And a lot of others do this as well. You've probably seen other bloggers do the same type of thing where they post a Pinterest optimized image at the bottom or at the top of these blog posts just so they can build up their Pinterest momentum a little more. Number 6, I also like to link to my Pinterest and other social media accounts in my blog post and my YouTube video description. So when you go to the bottom of my blog, you'll notice that I have a section in the footer that has all my links where you can follow me on social media. When you click on Pinterest, it goes straight to my Pinterest profile. So that's one thing you can do right there. Just put a menu in your footer and make it easy for people to follow you and to find you on their favorite social media platform. You'll also notice that I do this on my YouTube videos as well. I have a section under some of the tools I use and stuff like that where it says Let's Connect, and I have my Twitter, Facebook, Pinterest, and Instagram profiles in case people want to follow me there. Number 7, I recommend getting a specific social media share plugin if you are using WordPress. So if you have a WordPress blog, which I know a lot of Pinterest users do, you can go and get easy social share buttons for WordPress. It's only $22 one-time payment. Of course, you can buy updates and support later on if you need it. This is a really nice plugin for just getting the most out of your social media marketing with your blog. So you have all sorts of features that come with this, which would take me hours to go over all the different features. But you'll notice that my blog uses this plugin right here, so you can see my share buttons use easy social share buttons. But what's nice and what's something that pretty much no other social media plugin like this has is when you click save on something, then you automatically, let's say I want to save this, and I just click save, and then when you leave, this box comes up. So once you share something, you have this thing that pops up, which allows people to follow you on your major social media profile. I need to reconnect my Pinterest, looks like it's not showing my follower count, but when you click these, it automatically makes it where people can follow you very easily on social media right after they share your post. And it's very likely that when people share your post, they're going to like your other posts as well. So it just makes it, very easy for people to follow you instead of having to look up your profiles. Another thing you can do is post in the top categories that do best on Pinterest. So every social media platform is a little bit different. People use it for different things. But being just a mostly image focused platform like this with that kind of unique ratio of long, kind of skinny infographics and images like that, they tend to specialize in certain types of images. They also have a mostly female audience that uses Pinterest, even though there are millions and millions of people that use it. So top categories, according to HubSpot.com, you have travel and leisure with around 7 million plus monthly viewers. You have health and wellness, which is another one of the biggest ones on there. You have DIY home renovation projects, which in 2018, 83% of home-related searches on Pinterest were day-to-day DIY projects. So if you have little tutorials that help people with life hacks and stuff that for your house, then that's something people like on there. Women's style, again, it's a primarily female audience on Pinterest. So anything related to like fashion or, next one is beauty on those do very well. Food and drink, another one that does very well on here. If you have like a recipe infographic, you can bet that'll do well. Motivational quotes, I already kind of went over that. Those do well on pretty much any social platform, but they do well on Pinterest especially. So if you post in one of those areas, you can usually relate those in some way to whatever your niche is, and it can open up, your audience and help you get more traffic. So another thing you want to do is post more often. So this is something where I typically post once per day, but I should be doing a lot more. And what you can do is post 5 to 30 times per day on Pinterest, because Pinterest is more like a site where it's not just, it doesn't feel like spam when you post more often on Pinterest, whereas if you post a lot on say Facebook or Instagram, it kind of feels like spam because every time you see an image or something from someone you follow, it takes up the whole page, and if you just keep seeing the same person over and over and over, you might unfollow them. But on Pinterest, you have so many different things showing up in your feed, as you can see right here. You have so many things in your feed, and these things can all rank in search results and get you traffic for maybe a few years. I've had posts about I had one that had to do with Tony Robbins quotes one time. It was 75 Tony Robbins quotes, and it got me traffic for years. It's still probably getting me traffic because it ranked. It was for something that people like, which is quotes, and it's optimized for Pinterest. It's like a long skinny image, and it just did really well. And I posted it in 2018 or something like that. So you have a longer shelf life for these posts, but they also don't take up the full page every time somebody does it like it does on Facebook and Instagram. So because of this, you can post more often, kind of like you do on Twitter. So Twitter and Pinterest are the ones where you can post a lot more often. They're more link oriented as well, whereas Facebook and Instagram kind of frown on links. So you can use a tool like buffer.com, or you can use Hootsuite. These allow you to connect your profiles and to put these posts on a schedule, so you're not just posting them all at one time, and you're also not having to come back to the website over and over throughout the day periodically to make your posts. This way you can do it all in bulk and schedule it throughout the week. And last but not least, if you look at most of the top Pinterest pins that are recommended to you, one thing you will find is that you don't see a lot of people's faces in a lot of these pins. So you might see them in like 1 out of every 5 to 10 posts, but the most popular ones usually without faces in the post. So if you're talking like, a lot of times text-based posts actually do really well on Pinterest, again, like infographics, tutorials, things like that. 23% more repins come on Pinterest pins without a face on them. So that's another thing you can do to just kind of make it more efficient, is to have more text-based pins like you see on all of these, and do less stuff where you have somebody's face as the center of attention. And of course, 23% more repins will obviously get more people to see your content and help you spread the popularity of your pins. So hopefully this was helpful. These are 10 of the best Pinterest tips I can give you from doing things myself on Pinterest and from studying other people. You can check the blog post at selfmadesuccess.com for more tips like these, and don't forget to subscribe for more marketing tips to grow your audience. And I'll see you in the next video.